I'd like to call the meeting to order. Do I hear a motion to approve the minutes of May 11th?
So moved.
Second.
Moved in second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. Under communication report, we've got the monthly operating report summary for May 2022.
So for the month of May, if you have any questions, just ask. We averaged 3.4 million gallons. Removal efficiency 98%, basically 98% for TSS and BOD. We were 35 pounds under the nitrogen permit, so 84% removal on that. Averaged 18.7% cake, and we were under the E. coli limit as well. Any questions?
Yeah, everything's good.
Everything's running good. Still no chemical for phosphorus. We're still using the fermentation tank, so we're well under the nitrogen with working with what we have, which is good.
Okay, we've got the project engineer report, term report dated May 2022.
The Patrick Flood Pump Station, we pulled number 3. We just cleaned this wet well, but we are still finding some debris and rags in it. We replaced the filters as well for the priming system. Tunxis Pump Station, we installed a new pump, and we're currently rebuilding the old pump for our spare. May 12th, the block heater lines were replaced at Allstate and Harlan pump stations. Those are the 2 stations that we have left that we're looking to probably replace in the upcoming years. Those generators are 1974, I believe. So we're just keeping the maintenance up. May 27th, we pulled pump 1 from the Oakland pump station, just pulled out debris and rags. We also cleaned the wet well, and all the generators maintenance was completed in the month of May, and we topped off the fuel for any summer storms that we may get. Pump station upgrades and collection systems. I just realized I should have put this under repairs and maintenance, but that's okay. Originally, we were meeting with DPC Engineering for manholes and infiltration. That's why this was under collection system. But this month we met with them for the upgrade for the dewatering system. We ended up, ironically enough, getting the pump on the same week we met with DPC Engineering. So the pump is currently giving us about 40 to 50% more capacity. So we went from doing about 140 gallons combined to about 250 gallons combined. So there's no overtime. We have a ton of room now because we have increased capacity, and we're currently installing the second pump for the second press with the VFD, and NIC will come and program it. And basically all we're doing is if we were feeding 1.5 or 2% at 100 gallons a minute, we drop that down to 1%. So the concentration and the solids loading is half of the weight, and then we double the flow. So we're getting more flow out with less weight. We're using more polymer, but with the trucking costs now, the polymer is almost negligible at this point. So this could be the solution.
Did we go out this spring for the new trucking?
Yes,
Yeah.
it was bad.
Van?
Was it good?
No, it was, we knew it was going to be high just because
Right.
gas alone, they're probably hauling 2,000 a week just in diesel. It went up. I don't have it in front of me. I want to say it was about 170, 200K. And that's all basically disposal costs, ash costs, because MDC has to dispose of all the ash that they have. That's hauled out of state. All the hauling for us is just all diesel and fuel. So the owner actually called me ahead of time and was like, don't have sticker shock. We're not trying to gouge. He's like, I can't even run the trucks for the price we had last year, which is understandable.
Yeah.
So that did increase.
Yeah, it's double that.
Yeah. I mean, they went from filling up at 2 a gallon to 7 basically. So
And rising.
yeah, we don't know how high it's going to go. So
Just for everybody else information, so the idea of trying to improve dewatering, it cuts down on your trucking, which cuts down on the cost of it.
Yep. And we were probably averaging, I'd say the first 2 years with the new plant, easily 7 to 100 in overtime because it was a weekly thing. Now we can actually
What's
empty the
connection
tanks
with the overtime?
because the guys have to stay for the press because we couldn't you can't run it without people
Without
here.
people here.
So, and then when we were able to get the second pump on, that extra 60 to 100 gallons a minute basically makes a whole nother can and a half a week, which takes away from the guy staying. So we don't need it anymore, which is good. And like I said, the only increased cost is polymer, but that's, I mean, you're maybe talking $1,000 a month. So that's nothing compared to what we were at. We raised manholes on Elizabeth, Irene and Wolf Pit Road. Highway and Silicon began milling last week. They finished there. We're currently working on Markey, Hotchkiss, Tungus, Church, Carrington, and Hart to see which ones we have to raise. I know there's a lot there because some of them are 7-8 inches, so we'll have to work on that. Continue to camera and look for problem areas. We continue to clear right-of-ways. We jetted Circle, Colony, Revere Drive, and Pine. And we did smoke testing out there. We got some of the results back. We didn't find too much, which is good. And we're just waiting on the rest of them.
All those older streets, you know, the Markey, the Hotchkiss,
Yep.
Tungus Church, and Carrington, so on. The root systems, you haven't found much of anything, so everything's been pretty good.
They've been good there. I know it wasn't Carrington. I have to look on our cleaning records. We did do like root control on some of those because a lot of them have the big trees,
Right.
but we haven't found any issues other than a couple of people had it in their own laterals, but not the main line.
Okay.
So
So it doesn't look like we're gonna do any lining this year.
not this year. We may do some in the fall, but this year we haven't done any. We used to do like Duke's Roots. There's a couple of streets I actually contacted them on, but some of them were up by Batterson Park in Berkshire. But we're gonna look when we do these streets for Markey, and then we're gonna basically make sure, camera them, that there's nothing we find. But they've been pretty good there. We cleaned the effluent flushing filters. On May 3rd, we just assembled the seals and motor from primary 2. We swapped all the seals and the bearings from 4, and a new Borger pump will be installed on primary 2. That was the one that broke that we're replacing. It's the same company we're doing the dewatering system with. We repaired and welded a hole in the grit system. We think it was basically just a vibration or a bad weld. It's just where the water comes out, where the inorganics settle. So it basically cracked and we re-welded it. It's
Excuse me, Mark.
been fine
Is
since.
Jennifer trying to get in.
Yeah, I think she should be, and I think I promoted her to Pam.
Hi,
Jennifer,
I'm here. Can you hear me?
yeah, we just wanted to make sure.
Great, thank you. I'm listening. I'm here.
Okay. We changed the oil in the Huber screw presses, same with the oil on the conveyors and the augers. And we ordered a new mixer for the primary fermentation tank. We previously used an old bisulfite mixer and that finally broke, so we're just going to replace it. We're scheduling, actually it is scheduled June 10th, the Avon flow meter we're calibrating. So that's this Friday. We're going to go out with Avon, and that we just do for the Avon billing. And we continue to be under permit on nitrogen, and that's pretty much it.
So as far as monitoring the Avon flow,
Yep.
anything unexpected there?
Other than they didn't do a call before you dig, or it was in the wrong spot and they cut the line. So we lost communication, but we went out there that day. I met with Tim Foster. Tim was really good. So we were able to basically identify where they cut it. They had a ditch witch out there, so they didn't even know they cut it.
Yeah.
And they basically snapped 20 feet back down the hill. So they got a mini out there, dug it up. Our electrician went out, we spliced it and got it going. So for those 2 days, we'll just average the flow, but we're back and running now.
Did they know that they had done it?
Well, it's funny because we all have backups on our thing, but we have an alarm that the backup's on. So I called Tim and was like, we're on backup, we got no power out there. And Tim was basically like, I'm looking at the numbers, we're fine, I got data. And his backup died when we were basically talking. So he's like, no, I don't have any data. So
I have a hard time believing anybody in this day and age would put anything in the ground without a couple 40 days.
they went around the side of the condominium, and it's weird where they have it because it goes down, I don't know what hole in the golf course is, but it drops down pretty quick. So it's only maybe 6 inches deep. It's right behind this lady's patio. So they went around and they must have just clipped it on the side because they had marked out the one side, but we weren't out there when it happened. So I don't know how much past it they went or what happened, but it's fixed. The sewer lateral report. Picket Lane, repaired existing lateral. New Britain Avenue, so connection placed prior. Whitetail Run, there's 2 for fee collected with the building permits, and Copper Mine reconnected lateral to a previously demolished home.
Okay,
That should be it.
any questions on that? Okay. New business?
Nothing.
Connection charges, we used to have
Let me go back to that.
paperwork to go along with that.
Like attachments.
Not attachment, but the charges for the connection fees.
Oh, I can check. I got this from the building department because actually Bruce, who normally sends it, was out on the road that day. So I'll double check with them. I can include it in next,
$1,500 and so
in
on.
next meeting.
Yeah. Okay, no new business, no unfinished business.
Nope, I think we're good.
Any other business? Hearing none, do I hear a motion to adjourn? So moved.
So,
Second, any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Hi.
Thank you, Jennifer.
Thank you. Have a good night.